a joke. Seriously, right now, Australian politics, how things are operating, it's just circus show. It is so out of touch with what we're actually facing right now. It's no longer funny. But beyond the political stupidity, the way our country is operating is just nonsensical. This really isn't about politics anymore. It's about reality. Australia is facing some of the biggest challenges a nation can have all at once. Yet the people making the decisions, it doesn't even feel like they're living in the same country as everyone else. Then now the recent news for this week is that there's talks of wanting to change our flag again. So I'm sick of the political bullshit of overcomplicating everything, listening to virtue signaling policies, or just straight up drama. So guys, let's have a good rant. It's definitely needed. Welcome back to the LM Show. So obviously guys, we're not in our usual studio because we're in Bali. It's our first international episode, but just straight off the bat, take a look at this video.
Just on national values, what about national symbols? With the ALP National Conference happening in Adelaide on the weekend, one of the major left-wing unions, the Amalgamated Manufacturing Workers Union, is proposing a new policy to remove the Union Jack from our flag and, can you believe it, get rid of colonial statues across the country. The proposal, to be debated over the weekend, says we need to strip away the constant reminders of the old ruling class and colonial empire.
This feels like the Albanese government is not ruling out a change in the flag this morning. Australian Manufacturers Workers Union making a demand that we put this policy ahead, that we change the flag. Would you be up for changing it, Claire?
Look, Nat, that's just not what the conference is about.
So when that one's put up, yes or no, Claire?
Again, Nat, sorry, it's not something that I've had a moment to think about.
Yeah, but we can walk and chew gum at once, I guess. So
that's right.
Yes or no on changing the Union Jack?
Nat,
come on, Claire, how are you going to vote when the motion's put?
Nat, I'm super respectful of the question. I'm telling you, as Housing Minister, I don't spend my time thinking about the national flag.
Okay, first of all, what a great response. For God's sake. Second of all, this is like a huge debate that we've always had, right? And in my opinion, Australia's identity has always had this sort of shame, like shameful rhetoric attached to it. And that's a flaw. That is a straight up problem. Because if citizens are ashamed of their own country, then they're not going to fully represent it or rally behind it. So that's a fundamental problem that we have. But back to actually wanting to change the flag and this whole debate. It gets back to whether we want to become a republic or stay in the Commonwealth. And well, that's an extremely important conversation to have. You know, America did it. They're a republic now. You can have a look at how they're going. Sovereignty-wise, I would lean probably more towards becoming a republic, because that would mean that we're a fully sovereign country making our own decisions. We wouldn't need things like a royal assent, you know, so that would be a positive. But right now, I think that that whole conversation sort of needs to take a backseat, because while it's an important conversation to have, the fundamental groundwork of our country is changing right before our eyes from multiple different angles. And I think the last thing that we need is another issue that will split Australians into opposing sides, because a divided country is a weaker country and division is power. And the second point that I think is a really important one, that Australia was built under that flag. Okay, our ancestors built this country representing that flag. Our brave men and women sacrificed and served under that flag. So I think we should be protecting what they built. We should be conserving what they built, not creating more reasons to tear ourselves apart. And the third reason to this whole debate is that we have so many issues we need to fix right now. We have so much unrest among Australians, and it's a pretty turbulent time in our country. We need to prioritize that instead of trying to redefine what Australia is. We just need to protect it right now. Then, once Australia is stronger and more united and functioning properly again, and once we've defined the trajectory of our nation, then I think we can have a conversation about becoming a republic and whether that's the right path moving forward. I just don't think right now is the right time. But now, moving on a little bit, take a look at something else that's happened this week. Albanese's interview with the ABC. But before we roll the tapes, I just want you guys to think about this. Like, we all know what I'm about to say, but I just want to reinforce it before I roll the tapes. Our country It's in a multi-front crisis. Australians are worried about the cost of living, housing, crime, energy, national security, you name it. Basically, everyone is pissed. Yet, this is the leader, the prime minister of our country. This is what he's choosing to spend some of his time on. Let's roll the tapes.
More than 3 decades in the federal parliament. You've had some miserable days there, you've had some amazing days there. What's the day you would not want to live again?
Oh, gee. That's really hard to... Probably 23rd of June 2010. Because I said on that day, I thought that Kevin and Julia, who are both dear friends of mine, both people I regard as very good prime ministers, we destroyed or undermined the prime ministership of both of them on that day.
I'm fascinated by the fact that your mum, over the course of most of your childhood, told you that your dad was dead and had been killed in a car accident before your birth. I'm just going to do a quick recap. They met on a boat. She got pregnant. He was engaged to somebody else in Italy. She came home, gonna have you, put you up for adoption.
The nun at the hospital brought me into her because she knew that my mum didn't want to give up her child.
And your mum was from a Catholic family, so...
Catholic family, and everyone knew each other. So the story was going to be that my father had died in the car accident and she'd lost the child with the trauma. Neat. I get adopted out and none of that happened. She brought me home, but the first half of the story stuck.
What the fuck? Yeah, Albo. Families right now are choosing between paying the rent and putting food on the table. But no worries, mate. No worries. I really want to hear about your upbringing and your family secrets for the millionth time. All good. If that wasn't bad enough, take a look at some of the comments. And if these aren't bots, I'm going to guess they're going to do a good job in rage baiting me. But let's just read through them. Okay, what do we have here? I have to say this is a lovely story. Thanks for sharing. Some people are unable to see past our own happiness to see that our PM is only stating facts about his background. Give him a break. He's a decent man. I hope all of you negative people have as much love and respect for your mum as he shows for his. I'm crying. So beautiful this. Agree. Love us all. Not just inside the family. We need to fight against hate speech. So random, we're not even talking about hate speech, but okay. Wish we could see more great men like Albo. Yeah, and then the next one, which is quite funny, this bloke will give you a salad and tell you it's a steak. Well, yeah, proven liar, so yeah. But come on. Those first comments, I'm not even going to get into whether he's a good bloke or a decent man, okay? That is so subjective. And it's based on personal opinion, and it's just not really relevant. So I don't really want to talk about that aspect, but what I have noticed, based not just on those comments, but heaps of others that I've looked through, is that the interview that Albanese gave was based on emotion. The comments responding to that interview are also based on emotion. And adding to this, something else that I've noticed, especially of protests on the left, is that when they have nothing better to say, they just call people names and make claims based on emotion. Okay, maybe, and this is just my humble political opinion, okay? But based on, the podcast talking about Kylie Minogue or talking about family things, potentially this may just be an attempt to relate to us because they know so many people disapprove of Albo's political ideas right now. So instead of focusing on policy, maybe they're trying to relate to us through emotion, but just an opinion there. Also, I'm still yet to see anybody on the left tell me, using logic rather than emotion, why they're voting for lefties. So, changing the subject, here's a bit of a challenge. If you're a lefty, tell me one reason. Let's make it simple, guys. One reason. One, why you're on the left, why you're voting for Labour, the Greens, or any left-wing party. If I get enough responses, I'll make a full video on it. Okay, going over their opinions and adding my opinion to it. Okay? And something else that's really pissed me off this week is Albanese sort of tumbled a little bit down an escalator because it looks like it randomly stopped. I don't give a fuck about that. people trip. Okay, why is that getting so much attention in the news? Why is that the focus in some areas? Because I'm sick of this. I don't want to hear the back and forth. I don't want to hear about Albanese's personal life or some drama about him walking down an escalator. All I want to do, seriously, literally all I want to do, is address the problems Australia is facing, hear the solutions, suggest solutions, and talk about the actions needed to fix them. Because the way politics is handled and operated in our country, so Australia, in the UK that has similar systems to us, if not the exact same systems to us, and you can even say the USA, is so unprofessional and immature when it should be one of the most straightforward operations. So look guys, what are your thoughts on all of that? That is just some of the news that's happened this week, and to me, it's all a fucking joke. Okay, can we all just sit down and have a debate about what's actually happening in our country? Because I think we're in such a turbulent time right now, and I'm sick of the back and forth that's portrayed in the media. But let me know your thoughts on all of that. That's it for today's episode. I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And I hope to see you all in my next one. Thanks, guys.